Hello beautiful, I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about the healing power of exploring past lives. So without further ado, let's get started. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Zoe and I love to talk all about spirituality and self-improvement. So if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, I would love to have you here in the community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up as well if you like this type of content. So more recently on my channel, I shared a series, a past life regression series, where I went and did a past life regression with the incredible Vivian Osal, and she is a beautiful energy healer. She is an angel. She is so special, and you'll see her energy in the video. So I'm going to leave that series down below, because if you do have a curiosity in past lives or past life regression, that experience in general, I know that you will like that series. It was very transformational for me, and that's more what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because as you saw in that series, I had a very deep experience, and going into it I was drawn and I was curious about past life regression. I thought, wow, this is gonna be super cool. I didn't know what I was gonna find, but I didn't actually associate it with being something very deeply healing. I just thought this is gonna be a spiritual experience for me. And after the past life regression, so much came to the surface for me, and so much has been healed and changed in my life since then. That's why I feel like I want to talk to you guys about it again, because it was so profoundly healing for me, and it wasn't what I expected. So upon following this curiosity, I'm like, wow, past life regression, I'm so interested. I started to meet people. In Mexico, I met this beautiful woman, and she is actually a past life regressionist too, and she was trained under Brian L. Weiss, the same person that Vivian was. So I've had all these synchronicities in my life, and people have brought up this book, and Many Lives, Many Masters. So I decided to get this book, and I'll leave a link to it down below if you guys are curious. I have a hard time reading physical books. I love to listen to audiobooks. I consume knowledge a lot faster that way. I could not stop consuming this book. I was obsessed. I finished it in a matter of a couple days because I couldn't put it down. I was just such a sponge to this knowledge, and that's how I know that, it's very special. So I highly recommend that book, but that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. A little bit more about this book, and a little bit more about how that regression experience has healed me in the months after it. So I'll talk about the book first. This is a great example of how healing this type of therapy can be for you. So Brian L. Weiss, he's this incredible psychologist. And he's got all the things. Let's say he's got all the credentials, right? Like, very well known, but a very analytical mind, a very scientific mind based in knowledge versus spirituality. And what happened was, he had a client. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the story. I promise I won't give it away though, because the secrets are in what you'll read. So he had a client come to him, a very fearful woman, stuck in so much fear in her life in all different places, relationships, work, sickness. She faced deep anxiety and depression, and she just struggled. She had a lot of struggle, a lot that she was clearly holding on to, that she didn't know where it came from or didn't know how to navigate it. So being the incredible psychiatrist that he was, Brian knew to use type of hypnosis or centering the client to get them into a space where they might be able to remember the childhood trauma. But what happened with his client, in the book her name is Catherine, so I'll refer to her as Catherine, is when he started to regress Catherine into the space of remembering her childhood, she actually regressed into the realm of past lives. And she started to recall events, scenarios with so much detail that you can't make this stuff up. And I'm telling you guys, that was the same experience with me when I had the opportunity to go into one of my past lives guided by Vivian. I couldn't believe the things that was that I was seeing, that I was feeling, it was so real, or just as real as my physical reality is now in this experience being Zoe. It was so real and so deeply personal, and that inner knowing was there that this was a real experience for me. So what happened was, Brian, he began to continue to regress Catherine and dive into these past lives, and he was having a spiritual awakening in that process too, because of his analytical mind. He wasn't diving yet into spirituality. He was very much on the fence, very much like so resistant to it, tried to look into all the ways that, you know, this wasn't actually spiritual, like maybe she was making it up, maybe she was going through something else. And you know, the evidence is there. The evidence is very clear in this book that we are all immortal spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. And sometimes that means that we bring things in from our past lives in this life to work through. Sometimes we bring in karma, sometimes we bring in soul contracts, we bring in soulmates. Not, you know, soulmate isn't just a romantic partnership. Soulmate could be your dog, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be anyone. So soulmates are meant for us to guide us and teach us lessons. And what's so interesting is that through this book, Catherine, she works through relationship troubles that she's having by visiting what these people meant in her past life. And I did the same in mine. And when you can bring a relationship full circle, or you can come to a deeper understanding of it, then you have the ability to accept. Because what we work through as humans is we have a very difficult time accepting. Our ego is always striving for more control. It is always yearning for more control. And our soul is the one that's in no rush. Our soul knows that it came here for, but our ego really shadows that in trying to overpower with control and judgments and all sorts of things. But taking the time to explore, or be open to exploring past life trauma, potentially, or past life relationships, or past lives in which you felt a certain way, or if you're having emotions come up and you don't know where they came from, explore it. Like, I'm telling you, the things that have shifted and changed in my life since that experience are incredible. I'm definitely onto something. I love to go down little curiosity rabbit holes, and this feels like something that I'm going to pursue more and more. I would love to become trained in hypnotherapy to be able to regress people because of how profoundly healing it was for me. It taught me a lot about unconditional love, and that's what you'll learn a lot about in this book too, is that it really all comes back to love. We're really all on this journey of understanding that everyone in our life is a teacher to us, and oftentimes the people who give us the most difficult lessons or are really very confronting to us have the most beautiful, loving intention behind that. They're here to teach us something very special. And when you can accept that, when you can really learn and understand that and have that resonate in your being, then you can move on and you can let things go. And I'll give you an example of my relationship with my mother. It's been turbulent my entire life. It's never been good. And she hasn't been a part of my life for a very long time, over a decade. And I've moved into acceptance about that, and even more so exploring the relationship of past lives, because I'm grateful. If my mother wasn't the way that she was, I wouldn't be the way that I am today. If she didn't neglect and abuse me, then I wouldn't be as independent and as driven and as positive and in this path of yearning and finding my personal truth. Like, I don't believe that I would be this woman that I am today if it wasn't for her. And so then I can find gratitude, you see? I can think, you know, if we chose to be in each other's lives and she chose to be the one to be my teacher in that, I can be grateful because she's given me one of the most powerful lessons of all. You see, when you can think about your lifetime and the lessons more so in terms of past and future and what your soul came here to learn, not just, you know, being stuck in the type of victim mentality, when you can understand on a deeper level that there was a very beautiful lesson there that you can learn and that you can accept, and then you can let go. And when you let go, you're so much lighter. So through the past months, I've learned so much about myself, so much about unconditional love. Like I said, that was a very big theme for me that I learned through my experience with Vivian. And I'm going to do another past life regression with her soon because I feel called to do so, to explore a different area of my life, which if you guys are open to it, I'll share it with you too. And what I would say about the experience of the past life is that it brings things full circle. And at the end of this book, it's so beautiful because Catherine leaves working with Brian and she no longer is afraid of everything. She's no longer afraid of life. She can embrace life and she can live it to the fullest, because in her past lives all sorts of terrible things happened to her. She was plagued with sickness, she got her throat slit, there was all sorts of crazy traumas that happened to her in her past lives, just as we all have. We've all had past life traumas that we may not be aware of, but we still could be holding on to. When she completed the circle, when she did the healing for all of these past lives, and she was just visiting them and recognizing them for what they were, recognizing who the key players were in her past lives, and recognizing that, oh, they're in this life to teach a similar lesson to me, and maybe I didn't understand it in the last life, so I have to learn it again. So that's why it is so profoundly healing. And one very special part of this book, which I'm not going to give away to you guys because you should just read it, is that when Brian is regressing her, and at the end of the past life regression just says what happened in mine, the regressionist brings you to your death. So you know how you died in that past life, and then you go into the light. You literally go into the white light that everyone talks about, and you're met with the masters of the universe, and they channeled very specific, beautiful messages to Brian about what we're all doing here on planet Earth, and it was so beautiful and it was so profound. And I don't know if I did that when I was in my reading with Vivian, because Catherine doesn't remember in this book, so I'm gonna have to ask Vivian if like if I channeled anything from the masters while I was on the other side. But basically, we're all here for our own unique reasons. We are all here, we are all so special, and if we knew how powerful and beautiful and supported and loved that we all were, we wouldn't be fearful. So that's why, if you're watching this video, maybe you're called to do a past life regression. I'm gonna leave Vivian's info down below. She does do past life regression via like Zoom or Skype, so you don't actually have to be in her office, especially because we're all in quarantine mode right now. But if you are feeling called, check it out, and you guys won't be disappointed. You'll be healed. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, I love you so much, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye!